Hello, hello, and we are live right now, and I did promise that I would actually be live with you. So, yes, it is 8 o'clock, and it's not raining yet here, but, all that weather that's moving across the country, it's supposed to hit here overnight a little bit. So, we'll see. But anyway, it's 8 o'clock, and I want to start right on time. I see there are some people already here on time, and fantastic for you because you get to see the opening part, which is no big special deal, but, it's just me. All right, so the deal is I wanted to put this together because, I've today, if you look at me today and you say, John does all this stuff. He's flying all over the world. He's speaking. He's doing all this training and all that kind of stuff. But if you would have tapped me about, 13 years ago, that wasn't the case, And I was working at a job. I was making about 50,000 a year. I was in the IT sector, and I was doing my work with Accenture, which is a consulting firm, and everything was going along okay. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't great, but it was okay. And something happened to me where I got out of sorts with my finances, and basically, I was trying to flip a house. And if you remember, this is back in 2001, and I wanted to flip this house. And everybody was trying to flip houses, and that was a thing that a lot of people were doing at the early part of this, decade was, flipping houses. So that's what I was trying to do. And I got the house, and I was supposed to flip it in 90 days. That's what the guy told me. See, this wasn't my total idea. Somebody brought the idea. What a brilliant man that was. Brought the idea to me and said, hey, we're going to flip a house. And since I was the guy with the credit, they were like, well, you do the signing, I'll do all the work, and we'll flip it. And within 90 days, we're supposed to be rich. Well, within 90 days, I was just stuck with a second mortgage. I mean, that's just all it was. And since I was the only one that was actually on the mortgage, then all of the burden fell to me. The other guy kind of flaked out. He didn't have to do anything, and at the end, when it wouldn't sell, he didn't do anything. And the reason why it wouldn't sell is because we were supposed. I'm going somewhere with this. I'm just giving you the background now. All right. The reason why it didn't sell is simply because it was supposed to be a 3-bedroom, 1-bath, and it was done, and it turned out to be a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. And for those of you who are flipping houses or rented real estate, the difference with what you will get for a 3-bedroom house versus a 1-bedroom or 2-bedroom house from HUD and all that is a huge difference. And so it just wasn't going to float, and I couldn't get rid of it. So what that kind of did for me, and you know what, actually I got a picture here I'm going to show you. I'm going to broadcast over here. So let me see something. First things first, let me ask you, can you actually see and hear me? Okay, so I'm going to say, let's see if you guys get this chat. Let's see, I don't know. Public comment to chat. Okay. Yeah. I don't know, maybe you guys don't see the chat. Ask your artists to make questions, they will appear below. All right, so it does say there are questions, and they are supposedly available. All right, Gladys. Thank you, Gladys. Hi, Gladys. Okay, so I just want to make sure everybody can hear me. All right, so now we're going to go over to the screen share here. And I got this on lock. So I'm going to start this. Let's move this notification out of the way. And so that's what I'm saying. We're going to do how to make $2,000 doing cool shit. And I already started. I didn't really say this, but who this webinar is for, it's for hobby sellers, part-time sellers, or newbies, people just getting started, all right? And there's going to be a few things in there for people that are already selling stuff that you might be able to glean from it, but really, mostly this is for people in the new beginning phases, and those are, you know, intermediate. So anyway, like I was saying, that was the house. We flipped it. I mean, we didn't flip it, but that was the day that it was done. I mean, you can see the yard was all nice and pretty. Yay, pretty yard and all that kind of good stuff. But if you go back to this house right now today, this is what it looks like. It's been dilapidated all over again. I mean, the crackheads have been in there and they've stolen everything. The $5,000 I put in for an HVAC system, they literally ripped it out, and it really was a problem for me personally, you know, and it left me kind of like out swinging because, you know, I mean, if you have a job and you're using all of that income to sustain your life, having a second mortgage on top of that and a house that you can't get rid of was just, you know, something that you can't afford. So that put me into a mode of success or failure, all right? And I really needed to make that mortgage. The mortgage was about $1,800 plus, you know, insurance and all that stuff. So that's where I came up with the $2,000 when I named this, how to make $2,000 a month, because in reality, that's what I needed. That's what I did. And I've talked about all kinds of stories about the business that I built with Colder Ice and the business that I built with Third Power Outlet, but I've never really told everybody how we got here and what actually happened. So that's what allowed me to just do this thing. So I was nearly at the point of bankruptcy, literally, you know, and I got a wild idea. I got an idea, and I said, hey, I have these books, and if you look around, you see I got books on top of books, but like, you know, these thicker books right here, look, I can point right there. Those kind of books are, a lot of times, those are technology books. Like, that's a SQL book on how to write SQL, and, you know, I got a lot of technology books, and those books usually cost like 30, 40 bucks. So for the job that I was working on, they used to give me all these books to read, and they would give me a budget to go out and buy the, you know, books that I needed to learn, and those books were part of my budget. That was part of my salary. So once you read the book and you know what you're doing, you don't need the book anymore, and I got the idea of go ahead and try to sell those books on eBay. And that's what I actually did. The first time that I couldn't make the rent, or the mortgage actually, I started selling books on eBay, and that got me over for a little bit. It gave me a little bit of float, a little bit of wiggle room. But I had to come up with a way to actually find a solution, and that took a little bit of deep digging. And so that's what I want to talk to you guys about today, is about how to find a niche, taking that niche product, and then showing you where you can sell it, how you can sell it, and how you can make this kind of money. My niche was, I had looked at a t-shirt press, all right? And I thought that was kind of cool. I was thinking I could make some t-shirts, you know, and actually press them myself. But when I thought about it, I was like, well, that would be kind of expensive. What else could I do? And I found this process called sublimation, where I could actually put images on mouse pads. All right, and so that was like, oh man, that's easy to do. I could, you know, wasn't going to take up a whole lot of room, and I could do it pretty quickly, and then I could stuff it in an envelope. That was the big thing for me. It was the ease of stuffing it in an envelope. So basically, what I decided to do was to make these mouse pads, right? And that was going to be the business. Or not even the business. It wasn't even a business. It was really just a way to hustle up some cash. So that was it, making the mouse pads. And I would make these mouse pads and I would sell the mouse pads for $5. All right? And when I first started making the mouse pads, I had all these ideas of designs that I would do. I would make some for, football teams and baseball teams and all that kind of stuff. What I didn't realize and didn't even think all the way through was the fact that those are licensed products. And I was just that naive, So, of course, it didn't take long before one of the license holders was like, dude, you cannot make NFL products on, a mouse pad and just print it and sell it on eBay. So that got kaput really, really quick. And then I had another brainstorm idea. I was like, hey, hot chicks sell. No matter what, hot chicks sell. So I started getting pictures of hot chicks on the web, and those started selling kind of well. I mean, just they were okay. And then one day I decided to get hot dudes and put those on, and that was when it took off. Believe it or not, because the young teen girls just love their idols. And so that was a boom for me. So now if you figure it like this, I was selling these things for $5. At one point, I realized that I was making enough to cover my expenses on that property. And one day I was just sitting there thinking, I'm like, dude, if I could figure out how to be on this job, my job of making mouse pads, for the same amount of time that I was on that other job for 8 hours a day, it's like if I could work for myself for 8 hours a day, like I work for the man, I think I could make a lot of money. And here's what I did, is I literally sat down and started thinking it all out. And that's what you're going to have to do. If you want to replace an income, or you want to make a move from, job to being self-employed, you have to really think it all the way out. And I mean, it's all a numbers game. It's all a numbers game. And I got my numbers down to the nth degree. I knew exactly how much money it would take me to feed myself, and I wasn't going to eat extravagantly. I knew I was going to save money because I wasn't going to have to buy clothes all the time. I wasn't going to have to get my clothes clean that I used to have to get clean for my job. I wasn't going to have to use, pay for parking downtown. I wasn't going to have to drive in and pay for gas. So I had calculated all of this. And then I got to the bare bones. It's like, dude, if I ate peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, how much do I need to make to survive? And I wrote down that number. I wrote down that number every day. Here's what I needed to survive. And that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to calculate exactly what that number is, because anything lower than that is not going to sustain you, right? So if you're doing this process, hold on one second. I'm going to close this door. Okay, sorry about that. Live TV, who knew? So the thing is, you got to think it all the way down. And I had gotten it down. It's like, man, if I could sell, and the number was surprising to me because the deal was I had 7 days, right? I was like, I could work every day. I don't need to have the weekends off, I could actually do the hustle. So that's one of the things. It's like, if you want to build a bridge, first thing you got to do is do the math, right? Second thing is, like I said, I'd eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. The second thing is you have to ask yourself, are you willing to make some sacrifices, right? And then the third thing is, will you work hard? Will you put in overtime? To get free, will you put in a little overtime? And I was like, yes, I will work 7 days a week. So when I had my number, all right, of how much I had to make every day, I realized that that was on a 5-day work week, And I'm like, well, if I had it where I was working all 7 days, then the amount that I needed was a lot lower. And I had come out with a number of just $35 a day. $35 a day. And all of a sudden, I realized that selling this thing for $5, so and actually I sold it for $5, and then I would charge like $3 for shipping. So, and then the cost to actually ship the pad was about $1.50, and the cost to make the materials was another $1.50. So that $5 plus $3 was $8 a piece. The $3 that I charged for shipping actually paid for shipping and the making of the product. So I had a $5 profit. And when I realized that all I needed was $35, I started looking. I said 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. That meant I needed to sell 7 of those a day on average to leave this job. And all of a sudden, it just really, I was like, dude, I know I can do 7 a day at some point. I wasn't at 7 a day at the time. I was around about 4 or 5 a day, right? But I was like, man, if I had 8 hours to work on my stuff, I know I can do this. And I really said, for the cushion, because, you know, everything is more expensive than you think. So I said my goal was for 10 pads a day. All right? I had to sell 10 mouse pads a day. So I had gotten it down to that small, minute number. So if you're looking at trying to do something and you want to make this $2,000 a month, whatever it is that you're trying to sell, break it all the way down so you know exactly how many units you need, because 2,000 sounds like a lot of money, but when you break it down in a 30-day period, what is that? I mean, so I can do the math. I can't do the math. I have to get my phone out and get the calculator. Let's do the math. I should have done this earlier. But this is what really will help you to understand exactly what you need to do. So let's do it. We'll do 2,000 divided by 30, because there's 30 days in a month, 29 sometimes. Just do that. Oh, great. It's $66 a day. Actually, $66.60. Oh my God, the number of the beast. No, but really, all right? So $66 a day is not like crazy amount of money, especially with the things that I'm going to be able to show you today on how you can make things and make money happen for you. All right? So that's the first thing you have to do. And a lot of us, if you think about it, I mean, honestly, mine wasn't even, I didn't need $2,000. I wasn't making $2,000 a week. You know what I'm saying? I mean, a month. I wasn't bringing that home. Well, I guess I was. But, I mean, it was like just a little bit more than that, plus the taxes taken out. By the time it's all said and done, I'm not living off of that $2,000 a month, you know? But once I started doing this with my pads, my mouse pads, I had more money than I ever had when I was working on the job. All right? You following me? Y'all with me? All right. So, here you go. First thing we want to do is you want to find yourself a niche. All right. Now, I'm going to kind of help you out here because I put together a little bit of questions that you need to ask yourself. And this will help you find your niche. All right. So the first thing you want to do is take inventory of your knowledge base. What do you know specifically yourself? So think about it. List every magazine that you ever subscribed for, for a length of time. I don't care if it's, a fashion magazine, a business magazine, a hobby magazine, Knitter's World. I don't care what it is. Just go ahead and take that and list it down, because sometimes we overlook some of the knowledge that we already have. And this is a way to take an inventory of that knowledge. So list all the magazines you've subscribed to. All right? And not only that, list some of the newsletters and publications that you like to read. So there are blogs that I love to read all the time. There are newsletters that I subscribe to that come to me and I read every morning. Those are the kind of things you want to list on this part as well. This, again, is part of your knowledge base. Now Number 3, list every job or industry you've worked long enough in to become familiar with, even if it's been out, even if it was a long time ago. I don't care how long ago it was, just the knowledge that you had from that actual position will help you, especially when it comes to what do I know and how can I use that to make me some dough. All right? Number 4, every group that you're a member of. Now, I'm not going to talk about, all of these Facebook groups because people have become crazy with Facebook groups, but I want to talk about, real member groups that you're very active in. So, I mean, it could be your church group. You could be doing Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, bowling league, any of those kind of things, all right? If you're in a fan club, you like, collecting coins, chess club, any of that kind of stuff. Go ahead and start taking inventory of that knowledge, all right? Number 5, every major school or training education that you've had. So where did you go to school? And did you take any good courses that, are some things that you could actually learn? Or, a lot of people don't understand that if you're well-traveled, there are things that from being well-traveled that other people really could use that information, and sometimes you don't really think about it. So just write down those kind of things about educational experiences, schooling, or training. All right? Number 6 is your hobbies or interests. Maybe you're doing the swimming thing and you used to professional swim. I don't know. But what are your hobbies? Do you build stuff? Do you like to knit and sew? Any of those kind of things. You want to start thinking about that. And then number 7, 5 topics you know a lot about that most people don't know you know a lot about. Let me say that again. 5 topics you know a lot about that most people don't know you know a lot about. All right? Because there's things that we know we think are totally irrelevant to the crowd that we're running in right now, but there could be a opportunity there. So we want to take that down in our, assessment. Number 8, specific products, services, or experiences that you have familiarity with. All right? Like if you are able to fix the washing machine, or you're able to fix things around the house, that is a service that you have experience in. So just, again, be free formatted with your thinking. This is just an exercise. It's only for you, and you take it down. And don't worry about getting all this down right now. This video will be available. Again, I will give you the links so you can read these. Or if you would like, just send me an email, john@Colder-Ice, right there in the bottom, and I'll be happy to send you a copy of this, which we're covering right now, okay? Number 9, topics you own more than 5 books on, all right? Now, I know you can see behind me how many books I own. That's just a portion of them. I got a problem. I keep buying books. Even though, and that's not even all the crap that's on my Kindle. So I like books. But I mean, if I look back here, I can see just by looking right now that there's plenty of eBay books up there, because that was definitely one of the things. There's a lot of marketing books that I love to read about marketing. There's a couple of landing page optimization books that I like to read for technology in this e-commerce field. So those, you want to just take a little assessment of some of the things that are available to you that you have books on. All right, and this will all make sense shortly. All right. Number 10, a story of 2 major personal victories from each of the following: from your childhood years, your teen years, your early adult years, your recent adult years. Tell what happened and what made you feel good about it. All right. Just personal victories, cheerleading time for yourself. What happened? What did you do? What did you accomplish? What did you feel good about? All right? Talk to it. I mean, for me right now, I'm doing this, juicing thing, and I'm doing this, trying to lose some weight. That's been a good point in my life right now. But if I really think about it, there are a lot of people that are struggling with their weight, and actually, I can tell you how to do it. Why? Because I did it. So I mean, it's just those kinds of things that you really take for granted. All right, part 2 of this. What you're going to do is, after you've done all that assessing, you want to take a look back at everything you wrote down. You'll have probably a good 20 different topics that you could actually become an authority on right now. You really could, because what you think you know, or you think what you do know, you probably don't think that other people are interested in. But what most of us know about a specific topic is more than what 98% of the regular populist generation, of today, those people today, have no idea of. All right? So what you do now is take the top 5, the top 5 favorites that are potential super niches. All right, and here's how you find the super niches. It's real simple. It's really 2 parts, and there's a 3rd part that I add. All right, is there a dummies book on it? If there is a For Dummies book, like eBay for Dummies, there's a book out there, Marcia Collier's book. So what it is that the Dummies Books is a big organization. That's a multi-million-dollar company that creates all these dummies books. What they have done with the dummies books is they already do pre-research about the niche before they decide to publish a book on it. So if there's a dummies book on a niche, then you know that there is an opportunity to market on that niche, right? Makes sense? It's like an aha moment for you. But if you think about it, they're not shooting blanks in the dark when they make a dummies book. They do that with knowledge that there is a niche already built, and that is good for you. That's good for you. Competition is good. Why? Because that lets you know that people are spending money to get those eyeballs, and that means, so that's why we're saying, are there any Google ads on the topic? Yes or no? Are there any Google ads on the topic? If people are spending dollars to bring traffic to that niche, then again, that there is an opportunity there for you. Remember, the bigger the pie, the better it is for you to get a slice. What a lot of people will do wrong, that they will try to find a niche that nobody else is in, and they want to build it out. I mean, I get it, for everybody else. I mean, for that's a pathway to great success, but it has a lot of risk. And what we're trying to do right now is we're not trying to take a whole lot of risk. We're trying to find something that will work, right? We want to find something that's easy to duplicate. And when you've got these kind of niches that already have, a business model for you, then you can get in there and just snag a small piece of a large pie. I like a small piece of a large pie much better than having a whole pie that's really teeny all to myself. All right? That's what we're trying to do. So the competition is not a bad thing. It's actually a good signal that you are on to something. Make sense? I hope so. All right? The other thing I say do is to go out to Amazon and check your niche topic, all right, and see if there are books on it. There should be at least 5 other books on that topic. Again, that is a way to let you know that people are interested in that niche, right? Now, of course, which I did not mention, or I don't have a slide for, you can also start doing your research on social channels to see if there's a lot of talk about it. And of course, you can actually go to eBay or Amazon and see if the hard good product you're trying to sell has other people selling that. Because the deal is I'm going to talk to you about two things. You could either do hard goods, which was the mouse pads that I was doing, right? Or you can sell soft goods, which is the education or the knowledge that you learn. So what we did with this exercise was really getting the knowledge part out. The second part, if you're trying to do hard goods, here's what you want to do. Because look, the number one question that people constantly ask me is this. They're always asking me, where do I get products from? Where can I get products? You know? And honestly, I tell people, I'm like, dude, that is the easiest thing. It's finding a product is so easy to sell. Finding a product is simple. Finding the right product takes work. I've got more stuff that never sold in my house than the stuff that did sell. All right? The 80-20 rule. It's like 20% of the items that I've purchased to resell made me 80 to 90% of all my money. All right? Here's how you source products. Google it. Google is a great place to source products. Now, one of the things that I like to do is, if you look here, I'm typing in the word trade show. Trade show calendar 2014. This says 13, but if you just go for this year, trade show calendar 2014, you'll get all of these different calendars of trade shows that are coming up, and you can even niche it out a little bit closer. I live in the Atlanta area, so I might put in trade shows Atlanta 2014, and that will let me know all of the trade shows that are coming into my area. And then what you'll do is you'll go to that trade show page and find out what it takes to register, and go ahead and get registered. Normally trade shows will not cost you anything. They're free. They're usually free. The only thing you have to prove to them is that you're a business, and that is something that you want to do. I mean, it's so easy to do. You want to go out and you want to get an EIN number. Write that down. You need an EIN number, which is a electronic identification number that you'll use for the federal government. Once you have the EIN number, you can apply for a business license. You'll do that at your local government level. They're the ones that hand out business license. Business license here for me in my area costs $35. It's not a lot of money. And with an EIN number and a business license, you can get into pretty much any trade show and any place that is wholesaling products. That's what you need to get in. All right? I'm giving you right now, that is the trade secret. A lot of people don't understand how to get into trade shows. All they need is those two things, the EIN number and a business license. So look that up, how you do that for your local area, okay? Fantastic. Now, the other thing that I do to look for sourcing some products is business parks. You pass these business parks on your way home from work all the time. They're all over every city. These little red brick buildings, most of the times just have, blacked out window fronts with door numbers on it. And you'll be like, what's in there? You never know. That's the key. You never know. So what I'll do a lot of times is when I see these places, I'll just drive on up and walk in and say, hey, what do y'all do here? I was just driving by. I was just curious, So those of you who are looking for work, that's how you can find work sometimes, is you just walk in. Are you hiring? But business parks are great places because most of the times these places are not made for foot traffic. They are there for people that are manufacturing goods. And you'll be amazed at what people are making right around the corner from your house that you never had any idea existed. So business parks are a great place to source products from. All right? Cool. Trade show calendars, that's one of the things we just talked about. This is a trade show calendar that I found, and it will allow me to just sort by city, and I can find all the trade shows that are coming to Atlanta. And that's just, EDPA trade show calendar. I don't know what the EDPA, but if you look it up, you'll find it. All right? there you go. Another place that is pretty cool for sourcing hard good products is SaleHoo. SaleHoo.com. SaleHoo is a place where you can find some pretty decent stuff. It's not the greatest place. The things that you find locally, to me, are a lot better. And the reason why I like the local hustle a little bit better is because it limits the number of people that have access to the same goods you do. So when you're looking at things like SaleHoo or some of these other ones that I'm just getting ready to show you for sourcing online, understand that you might run into a little bit more competition. All right? Another way to do it is just whatever the product or niche that you're looking for, just type in wholesale and that thing you're looking for. If you want, wholesale beauty supply, boom, that's how you find it. Then once you get wholesale beauty supply Atlanta, you would find all the places around you that sell beauty supplies, and then literally you walk into that store, they're going to say, oh, we don't sell to the general public. And you're going to say, bam, here's my business license, here is my EIN number, register me. And they will let you in so that you can get a account with them to sell their wholesale products. All right? It's that simple, literally. Another place, liquidation.com. Liquidation.com they sell stuff by the pallet load, So, and I mean, it's discounted. They're shelf pulls, they're refurbs, they're either brand new or refurbed, but you just read what it's like. This site is like an eBay for wholesale products. All right, you'll bid on it, and then you'll buy it, and then it'll come shipped to you. But read, the feedback of these guys to make sure that they're describing their products right. Make sure you read the description very carefully, because they will tell you whether this is a new items, shelf pulled items. You know what a shelf pull is? That just means that it was in the store and they pulled it off the shelf because they needed shelf space. So that's still a new item, or a refurbished item, which are items that have been sent back and they have been made whole and new, like new again. But not always. Some of them will, be as is, returns as is. What sometimes they'll do is they'll take all the things that get returned to the store, they won't even open it, and they'll just put it on a pallet and resell it. Some of it might be broke, some of it might be gold. So you have to just read very carefully before purchasing on these kind of places, but they will be very open and transparent about what it is. All right? Another place, Alibaba. Look, Alibaba is everything you need from China. I mean, seriously, anything you want, you can get in China. And these guys are the web portal for a lot of stuff out of China. There are some lessons that you have to learn. Doing deals on Alibaba, you really, again, got to read to make sure what you're ordering. My thing is that when you're dealing with some of these guys, you should get samples first. Now, to get a sample, you want to ask them if they can send you a sample. You will have to pay for the shipping from China to here. You will pay that. All right? Don't freak out. It's not that expensive, but it will save you a lot of headache and money. You want to make sure that the product you get is the product you want. And that's how you do that. All right? Fantab. Drop shipping. You've heard of drop shipping before, right? That's one of the things I really like about sourcing products at the business parks, is because a lot of times you can find people over there that are vendors over there that would be willing to do drop shipping programs with you. And drop shipping simply means you'll list the product for sale on your website or on eBay, and once the buyer gets the product, they pay you as the reseller, and then you'll place the order at the drop shipper, and they will drop ship it directly to your buyer. So you're not ever handling the actual products. All you're handling is the money. I like that model, but there are risks. one of the things you want to do with drop shipping is to make sure that you have tested the product and tested the drop shipping process. So one of the things I tell people is if you're going to drop ship, you should make an order for yourself every once in a while, at least once a quarter. You should send one to yourself so that that way you know exactly what the customer is getting, A, and B, you know that these manufacturers are not trying to market to your customer directly. Boom. So that's how you do that. You can always watch your marketers, your manufacturers rather, by getting that product. And the other thing is if you ever have a product that you sell, you want to have a couple of them sent to your house first before you even sell it. That way, if they run out, you can always fulfill that order if you're doing the eBay thing, because eBay doesn't like, or Amazon doesn't like it when you don't fulfill the orders that people place. So you might go ahead and get one or two of those units, keep them in your house, just so you can fulfill in case somebody orders and they might be on back order at your manufacturer. All right. This is something I call drop shipping light, and it's not really light. It's extra. It's kind of extra work. But I mean, FBA is Fulfillment Services by Amazon, and what you can do is you can take product that you locate, send it directly to Amazon, and Amazon will do the pick, packing, and shipping for you if you pay them a certain fee. So you want to go out there. It's not free. It's around $2.50, $3 or so for each product, and you can just build that into the price of the product. And as long as the pricing is compatible, Amazon FBA is a fulfillment house outside of your house. You're getting that real fast Amazon service for all of your products, and your customers love Amazon Prime. They love it. All right. Now the other thing is, when I talk about eBay, I talk about Amazon. Those are called marketplaces. These are the places where you can put your items on the websites, and it looks like it's coming directly from those websites, even though it'll say something like, this is fulfilled by third-party seller, and it'll have the name of the company. But these are places where you can put products that they already have traffic driven to it, and you can actually put your products on there. A lot of people don't realize that Sears has its own secondary or third-party marketplace. You can list your items directly on Sears.com, Amazon.com, Buy.com, which is now Rakuten. You can do that. Those are called marketplaces, and that is a way for you to get that out there. Now let me kind of back up a little bit. Well, not back up, but I want to make one other statement here, is that I'm talking about all these hard goods, and because that's one of the things that I'm really passionate about. That's my thing, right? But we can talk about soft goods or services as well. The marketplace for services right now that you can get into, very, very low cost, very low overhead, really basically just creating yourself an ad and having yourself a PayPal account, is Fiverr. Fiverr, Fiverr.com. Really what Fiverr is, and people think it is a place to get things done for $5, and it is. You're going to have, let's say we did all that, and I don't know, maybe you know how to tie a Boy Scout knot in 20 different ways, and you could sell that for $5. But the other thing that you can actually do with Fiverr is you can make these add-ons, right? So I can show you, I can send to you the way to do the knot for $5, or I can make the video for you for $5 plus another $5 for the video. You see what I'm saying? So now you're doing a $10 deal as opposed to a $5 deal. They have ways for you to make all these add-ons so that you're not just doing $5 work. It's a fantastic way for you to sell your services online, and it's got that same startup feel. It's the way to get in and do some work. I mean, if you're a writer and you know how to write or you know how to edit, you got a job tomorrow on Fiverr, because people are constantly looking for people to do writing and editing. People are doing all kinds of things on Fiverr, and you will think, you'll be like, well, they're doing it for $5, you know, like they'll make a 3-minute video of any script. If you got a good voice and you can do that and you feel comfortable standing in front of a camera, you can make $5 every time you do it. The key thing is, again, is the upsell. You know, so I can do the regular standard one, or I can mail it to you as an MP4, you know, put it up on YouTube for you and send notices out, and that will cost you an extra $10. Now you've done a $15 gig, and it really only took you another 2 minutes after the 3 minutes that you needed to make the video. But it's just so many ways today for you to do things to get to that, you know, what we say, $60 a day. I mean, you figure, dude, it's not that many Fivers that you're going to need to actually get to that $2,000 mark, but you just start small, all right? So let me go back up in here, and we're going to continue talking about these hard goods, because I do got a lot of crap on that. All right. Cool. So if you want to sell on eBay, I'm not going to go through it all the way, because eBay has a fantastic training. All you have to do is hit the sell button. It's real simple to log in. Once you get in there, it's got the selling basics. Go through that. You know, they got videos and everything. They'll answer all your questions to get you up and running really quick on eBay. And I know so many of my friends do eBay. They can tell you it's real simple. Of course, there's a lot of books out there for eBay learning. A lot of books out there. Grab one or two, especially now, because it changes so often that you have to really keep up on what's new on the eBay circuit. So that's one of the ways. Marketplaces, if you want to get on the marketplace, Amazon, like, all you have to do is go to services.amazon.com, and you can sell your products right there on Amazon. That's so many of my friends do that. That's what I do. I do both eBay and Amazon. It works. It really works. eBay has stores for you if you want to start a website. eBay is a kind of cool place to do it. They've been kind of moving away from the online store, so what used to be something that you could really pimp out is not as pimpish as it used to be. So, but I mean, it's still, you know, you can do that. The thing is, with an eBay store, it's not going to drive its own traffic, you know. So eBay stores are really made for eBay customers. It's not like you're going to get a store on eBay and all these people are going to start coming from the web. That's not the case. The eBay store is for eBay customers, but they start off at $20 a month, and you get about 150 listings in that store for free. So there's, you know, good and bad parts to that. Marketplace stores, Amazon has Amazon web stores. You can go to webstore.amazon.com. The deal with those are actual e-commerce stores. They're going to be standalone stores. They have very little Amazon branding. Matter of fact, the only place you see Amazon is at the bottom. You know, so this one you can pimp out exactly like you want it. You can get a developer to give you the experience that you want for your customers. So Amazon's marketplace stores are very much like regular stores. It charges a transactional fee, and it's about $40 a month. All right. There are other solutions that I'll show you that are even cheaper than that. All right. Web stores by Volusion, Volusion.com. If you go there, that's my little link from Colder Ice, but Volusion.com/Colder Ice, and they've got stores starting at $15 a month. You know, and you can have up to 100 products in that store. Don't worry about the data transfer. If you only got 100 products, 1 gigabyte of transfer of data will be fine for you. All right? So, and they don't charge you a transaction fee. So eBay and Amazon charge you a little transaction fee for products that are sold in your stores there. BigCommerce, that is a big one everybody's using these days too. They start off right now at $24.95 a store. For a smaller store, that's again 100 products, 1 gigabyte. Really, you say, what's the difference other than price? You have to start going into the store and looking at what the features are. And you have to make a list of the things you want your store to do. and then you compare it between Volusion, BigCommerce, and the other one that is like the darling of the week, you know, because it always, I mean, last year the darling was BigCommerce. This year it's Shopify. Shopify, again, same thing, same deal, $29 a month, 100 products. Same deal. But the difference is they're charging a 2% transaction fee. But they also, if you look at it and they try to hide this, they give you these big three, they actually got a starter store over here for 14 bucks. Yeah, you know, so they give you all this, but there's actually a starter store for 14 bucks. That's probably something that you would want to do if you're just getting started. Another one is Magento. Magento web stores. I think these are a little bit more in depth, and they give you way more flexibility than any other stores that are out there. You can build this exactly like you want it, although it is very technical. I wouldn't give that to my first time out people. All right? Payments, how you bring them in, you got to have a PayPal account. I'm not even going to talk about that. You got to have a PayPal account. The other one is Amazon. Amazon has its own payment service. You can use services.amazon.com. It works like PayPal. You can embed it into your web stores. It's checkout by Amazon, and you can get there and sign up. And we use both PayPal and Amazon on our websites. Another thing is if you want to just take credit cards direct, here's where I tell people to go. Sam's Club MS. Merchant Services, Sam's Club MS. That's Merchant Services for you. And Sam's Club has the cheapest, either Sam's Club or Costco. Both of them have these merchant account available to you. That way, it's better than going to your bank. You're going to get a better deal than you do at your bank. Of course, to do that, you got to have your credit in order, because they're not going to give you a merchant account if you got bad credit. Just telling you right now. All right? So, but these are great ways to build credit and credibility with your business. I get it. People like PayPal, but if they have the option between PayPal and a regular credit card, they usually will take the regular credit card. That's what I've found. Now, the other thing is, if you're going to get on the web, no matter what you do, you're going to have to drive your own traffic to it. It's not going to happen automatically. So here are some tools to help you drive your traffic. There's something called CSEs, which are comparison shopping engines, and there are a bunch of those out there. Some of those that you might know about are the Google Shopping, you know, Price Grabber, Shopping.com, things like that. Those help to drive traffic to your website. Another thing that helps drive traffic are these things called affiliate networks. You can actually join up to affiliate networks and give a piece of the action to other people that would market your products for you. Now, to really get into affiliates, that's something that's a little bit more advanced, because you've got to really have a good product, you know, that people want to get in and actually do that for you. But this is still something that you can look at, you know, as your business grows. Social traffic, there's a great site out right now, Wanelo, W-A-N-E-L-O. You got to check those out. These are places where you can actually list your products from your store, and people do social discovery and find your product listings. And it's really starting to take off, especially for, you know, good traffic. I don't know what that one is. This one's Pinterest, though, and that's a social discovery site. Pinterest, killing it. Killing it. I mean, it's just, especially if you're into women's clothing, you're into wedding, anything really around women, this one is a good one to play around with in terms of driving traffic to your store. It doesn't take a whole lot of work to add the pictures that you already have on your websites of your products into a Pinterest page. All right. The other way to do it is doing paid ads on Google, or pay-per-click, PPC ads on Google. You're very familiar with this, I'm sure. The other thing that you do need is to be trusted and verified. That's one thing I do like about having the PayPal there, is because PayPal will give you a symbol that you can put at the top, you know, I'm PayPal verified, and even though they will use their own credit card on your site, you would have, you know, one of the trust signs. You need to have some sort of trust sign for people to feel okay with giving you their personal information and credit cards. All right? How to measure it? Google Analytics. And once you get your website up and running, you want to go out there and grab a free Google Analytics account. And what that allows you to do is put in some code so that you can track and trace who is coming to your website. And that is important because you want to know where they saw your ads at and how they're going to, and how you can market back to those same customers. What's working, what's not. I love that. All right. Spring Metrics. That's another cool one that you can add to your web store. That's on your actual web store. Spring Metrics does some really cool advertising. It's like when people get to your website, it'll put up like a 5% off coupon if they're brand new, you know, so you can really entice them to buy. But it also measures the audience and how long they're staying on a page, things like that that you're already seeing. You got to have some sort of email follow-up at some point because you want to actually remarket to your current customers. It is cheaper for you to market to a current customer than it is to find a new customer. And that's one thing I like about things like Constant Contact. You know about those, eye contact, and Aweber. Those are the big three in this market. Oh no, and there's one more that's local here to Atlanta, which is MailChimp. MailChimp gives you, 2,000 emails for free right up front, where these other guys want to charge you, like $12, $15, $19. But MailChimp starts out right now at free. So I like that too. All right, mobile commerce. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on mobile, only because the first thing you need to do is get your stores up and running. And of course, we're talking about, finding the product first. But one thing I do like is that eBay has a great mobile app that you can use for taking the pictures, selling the products, fulfilling or at least getting the money out of the, from the payments. You can use the eBay app. So I'm digging that. Download the eBay app. It's something that you really could use. If you're going to do anything where you might want to accept credit cards and you're going to have maybe you've come through this whole process and you said, hey, I'd like to be a tutor. I'm going to tutor students. You got to have a way to take payments. You don't want to go in there and say, oh, I need a check. I mean, who does checks anymore? You can use Square. Square is free. They'll send you the little dongle that goes into your phone. It works on iPhones, Androids, and you can swipe credit cards right there on the spot. Cool thing was, there's a guy around the corner that is always in front of the gas station and on the weekends, and I went up to get some good barbecue, and he had a Square. He was doing mobile commerce right there. I bought, like $40 worth of ribs and chicken. And he pulls out his Square, and I'm like, oh, cool, I can pay with a credit card. It's really changing everything, all right? It's changing everything. Mobile commerce is what's up. Here's some resources. Of course, if you go to facebook.com, that's fb.com if you want to shorten it, fb.com/ColdRiceMedia. That's where I post a lot of stuff about e-commerce all day long. You can find great resources. These are two friends of mine. They're thrift nuts. All right, you might have seen them on Spike TV show Thrift Hunters. They've got a group out there on Facebook called Thrifting with the Boys. All right, you just fb.com/thrifting with the boys. You'll find them, or you just do a search right up here in Facebook search bar, Thrifting with the Boys. They will tell you exactly how to go out and find stuff at places like Goodwill and I don't know, what's the other thing? Well, anyway, you know what I mean. Thrift hunters. That's what they do. That's what they're skilled at. And if you go over there, tell them John sent you, because those are my buddies. Now, here's the deal. Right now, here in Atlanta, coming up on March 16th and 17th, I've got a boot camp where we're going to go all the way through this from start to end. We're going to help you build a winning strategy and your online sales channel. That's what this is all about. And if that's something that's of interest to you, right now you could go out there. It's at ebizevents.com and find out more information. Use the code Colder Ice and you'll get $50 back. Just, you know, do that. Go do that now. But we're doing that live and in person. That's the difference. It's going to be here in Atlanta, and it's really going to be an intense 2 days of really great content. I've got 4 great experts along with myself, so you'll get 5 great in-depth sessions on marketing, e-commerce, social, how to use video for sales. I mean, it's just, I can't even go. It's just so much stuff. And then lastly, the e-commerce group, where if you have any kind of e-commerce question, that is the place to go, and you just can go there by typing in theecommercegroup.org, or just look up the e-commerce group on Facebook, and you'll find us there. All right, so that's a lot of stuff to put in. I understand that. I definitely get it. You know, it's like, darn, that's a lot. But I wanted to give you the actual content first, you know, before I go into the concepts. So this was the content, and the next time we talk, it'll be the concepts. So I got you already, you know, I got your attention, but I do want to do a follow-up on this, because, you know, it's the first thing I think you have to do is start figuring out what it is you want to do. So that's why I say how to make $2,000 doing cool shit, not stuff that everybody else wants you to do, but what you actually want to do. But the first thing you have to do is figure out what you want to do. And I've given you some resources to help you do that. Like I said, those the 10 questions that if you want that, all you have to do is go to my, I guess that's pointing right, you know, go to my email, john@colderice.com, and I'll send that over to you. All right? Now, I'll just tell you, we've got a few people in the room. If you have a question that you would like for me to answer, go ahead and pop it in the chat. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a poll question. I'm just curious right now. Do any of you have a business right now? Do any of you have a business right now? And I think you should be able to see the poll, you know. Let's see. I don't know. That's new. I'm testing the polls. It's like, boom, thanks. I just voted. I voted. All right, but if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the chat, and I'll be more than happy to answer it for you. If we don't have a question, then it's cool too, because then I can go and eat some peanuts. I'm going to eat some. I am. I'm serious. I'm going to go eat me some peanuts, man. I just got me a whole big old box of peanuts. I love peanuts. Well, not just peanuts. I love nuts in general, all kind of nuts. So this is like a mixed nut. Like you really care. You don't really care about, you know, it's not really resonating with you. But it's me just spending a little bit of time and just making sure that you don't have any questions. All right. So I don't see any questions right now, but if you do want to follow up with me, you've got my email, john@colderice.com. I appreciate you taking your time and sitting with me today, and hopefully we will get together real soon. Like I said, if you need those questions, you want it printed out, I will send it to you. All right? Thanks so much. It's your boy John. I'm out of here. Peace.